He was literally doing all the research he can, emailing every school. It didn't matter from Bama to whatever, you know what I mean? He was just emailing every school. Okay, next week again, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep it refreshed on their mind. Like, they're gonna have to see you do this week after week after week. When I got the first call, I was like, this is different. It's a great feeling when you first talk to your first college on the phone. He came to my high school, I get pulled out of class. Like, I'll never forget that. You get offered in your coach's office, you walk out feeling like a new man.
Welcome to Athlete Country Club, the podcast built for parents, athletes, and competitors chasing the next level. I'm your host, Marcus McMarion, former Division I quarterback, now founder of Athlete Country Club. I started this show because, like many of you, I had to learn the recruiting process the hard way, traveling up and down the state, spending thousands trying to figure out what actually works. Each week, we break it down through two powerful segments. First, Coach Talk. This is where we sit down with college coaches, director of player personnel, recruiters to uncover exactly what they look for when offering scholarships. No fluff, just the truth from people making the decisions. Second, Athlete CEO. Here we go beyond the field, into habits, training, and mindset that build elite performance and long-term success. You'll hear from strength coaches, nutritionists, sports psychologists, and former athletes who've turned their grind into greatness in business, leadership, and life. Because being an athlete isn't just about playing the game, it's about mastering it and building your legacy beyond it. So whether you're a parent trying to navigate recruiting or an athlete ready to level up, you're in the right place. Welcome to Athlete Country Club, where we turn potential into performance and performance into purpose. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Athlete Country Club podcast. I'm your host, Marcus McMarion. Today on Athlete Country Club, we've got a champion in the house, someone who's lived multiple football lives. Keesean Johnson's a Grey Cup champion with Saskatchewan Rough Riders, drafted in the 6th round by the Arizona Cardinals in the NFL 2019, and one of the most quarterback-friendly targets I've ever shared a huddle with. And once you put the ball in his wingspan, it's just about 100% guarantee it's going to be a catch. That's just how his routes and instincts worked. But the thing I respect most about Keesean wasn't just his ability to catch a football, it was his football IQ. I mean, his kind of understanding of the game through just a quarterback's lens and kind of knowing not only his job, but what the entire play was designed to attack. So from a Bulldog in Fresno to the NFL, now a Grey Cup champion in Canada. We're going deep today, from the mental grind to the business side of being a pro. Key, welcome to Athlete Country Club, brother.
My boy, appreciate you having me. Let's do this.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. No, I'm excited about it. And again, I just want to kind of start, I mean, just like back when we were teammates at Fresno State, when you kind of look back at that, I mean, like, what part of your game do you feel like translated immediately to the professional level when you stepped on and you were around with the Arizona Cardinals?
Like you said, just being, just kind of having the football IQ, being able to talk to the quarterback to, kind of just read his mind, pick his brain, and see what he's thinking before of what I'm doing, and just always being quarterback friendly. Always attacking the ball and, just going out there trying to just make the plays when that ball come my way.
Yeah, kind of talk about that. Like, what made you kind of develop that? Like, has that always been a part of your game? Because, like, I've played with a lot of receivers where, like, say it was cover 3 and they saw the safety coming down, like, and they were running to bang 8, they didn't know they were supposed to get the ball. Like, you knew, like, oh, it's wraps. Like, I should get the ball thrown to me. And I remember one time you came in, you called me out, and I was like, damn, like, he really paying attention. So, like, how long has that been a part of your game, and why is that important for you?
Once I got to high school, I kind of switched positions. So, like, growing up, Little League, obviously, some of the better players on the team, more talented guys get to thrown in the quarterback, running back positions, just obviously always having the ball in their hands. So growing up, always played the quarterback position, but never really hit the growth spurt to, continue to play it, continue to play it in college or whatever. So I kind of switched positions, and then we had a quarterback come in who was a 5-star recruit, Keller Chris. He came into our high school, 6'4", big arm, dad coached in the NFL, so he started to get like different knowledge of the game. And he changed my perspective on it. Once I started playing the receiver position, he changed my perspective on it and just made me, really lock in on knowing when I should get the ball, knowing when I should help for another teammate to get the ball. And, all those different things. With seeing the coverages, okay, cool, making sure, let's just say, an easy one, cover 2, we got to take them outside. Don't run inside. Don't show them, the guy that's supposed to get the ball. So, like, little things like that. And once he gave me that and I started to, know when I can get the ball or knowing when I'm getting the ball and I'm not, and how I can help my team win games, like, it kind of just, made the game that much, slowed the game down and made it that much easier.
Yeah, no, and you kind of talk about your hometown a little bit. I mean, it has a history for, producing talent. I mean, specifically at the receiver position, obviously yourself, and kind of talk to me about, just like the pride you have in your hometown and like what it means to like represent your city side by side with guys like, I mean, like you and Devontae, I mean, are kind of the first guys that come to mind.
It means a lot. Like obviously we have now like just the tradition of guys, coming out our city now. It's it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We got so many guys in the league now. Troy Franklin, Makai Blackman, Rajon Wright, Nashawn Wright. Like we got guys, Jordan Mims, like we got guys that's, now it's just more guys trickling in the league and just, having more success. So, obviously being one of the first to do it from where I am, it means a lot. And, we don't take it for granted. It was at times where we didn't always see the best things like growing up and, our parents and our determination to, change the narrative of what we can do and how it should be done.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then obviously you were able to kind of take that success from your hometown and kind of high school and then take it to Fresno State and then to the league. And you were able to kind of experience that. I mean, getting drafted in 2019, I mean, like from your perspective, I mean, like what do people not understand about the jump from being like the guy in college to like earning the trust of everyone in an NFL locker room?
Yeah, that journey, you gotta have a lot of, a lot of determination, a lot of will, just want to, and a lot of learning. No matter where you're going, there's gonna be guys that's been in the league for, 15 years. They done seen everything that can come at them, can fly at them. So you got to kind of just pick their brains and, the side of, willing to work. Like, no matter what comes with, no matter what put in front of you, you got to be able to work through it and, have that determination to get where you want to get.
Yeah, no, and kind of talk about your journey a little bit to where I feel like I wasn't fortunate enough in my playing career to kind of experience NFL. But for me, if I was, I think I would have been a journeyman. Like I think I would have bounced. I would have been with the team for a couple weeks, and I probably would have went to another team and another team, and like that's a lot of stress. And kind of talk to that, like how like just the mental side of the game. Like it's not even football at that point. It's like they might be telling you, Keesean, you're a great receiver. We just on the business side of things, we need to sign a offensive lineman instead of receiver.
And, I've kind of been in those situations like that. Just the mental side of it all. You can be moving one day, and be in a whole nother state to where you've never been. Like, let's say you have family, your family's not going with you right away because you don't know everything about the city yet. You don't know how long you're going to be there. So with not knowing how long you're going to be somewhere, you're not trying to up and move your family every time you got to get up and move, So a lot of those pieces come into play. Being somewhere, luckily, me being from California, only 2 hours away from in college from like my family, 2.5 hours, I was able to see them all the time. I was able for them to be at the games. My dad, my mom, they were always able to be at the games, but right here was an unknown. Once you do get in a point to where you're traveling around and you're not in a stable team and not have a stable role on this team, you're traveling around. Your parents aren't able to make every game because it's always switching. Your schedule's switching, and they can't plan ahead to come, enjoy and help you thrive like they have your whole life. So a lot of things change throughout the time of being in the NFL, and just it all comes down to your will and determination, like I said. But that is the main. That is a big part that no one sees. Just the mental stress, the mental capacity that it can take just by always being on the road and always moving around and just not having no stability at certain points.
Yeah, no, and I feel like Athlete Country Club, kind of the reason I launched the podcast is just kind of obviously being fortunate to be around guys like you and Michael Walker and a bunch of teammates that we've had that have played in the league and are having success in the CFL and winning championships. And it's like, obviously everyone's talented, everyone's really good at what they do, but it's just like there's so many other things that are off the field that you guys are so good at. And I always had a ton of respect for you because you would actually challenge me as a quarterback and talk to me, and like you were trying to understand like the perspective I was seeing the defense from. And I know Juju was a guy who was really good at that too. And he would ask me questions like, well, how am I picking him off, or what tips is Juju giving? And you would kind of like, we would all kind of bounce ideas off of each other. So, I mean, just like if you were speaking to like a high school athlete who's kind of chasing their dreams, like what mental habits, whether that's just off the field or on the field, do you feel like they should start building now, like before talent becomes a separator?
Yeah, first of all, being able to be alone, like being able to be alone and work out alone, like be able to push yourself by yourself without no one looking. That's something that I would tell. That was something I kind of had to learn to develop. Just it's at times that you might not have someone to work out with you, or might not have a coach pushing you right away. But how hard are you going to push yourself during that time? Like that's something. And then study the game. Study the game if you really love it. Study the game. Know the ins and outs of it. Try and be if you're a receiver. Try and feel like you could play defense. Make yourself feel like you could play defense and know what's coming and how this defense can probably disguise this, this coverage or whatever it may be. Try and learn, try and learn that side of the ball. Try and put your lens, change your lens, and make it seem like you're a corner or something if you're a receiver. And like my biggest thing, like the biggest thing that made me a better player is being able to work alone. Uh, just being able to put that work in by myself and when no one's watching.
Yeah. No, and I feel like that's such a big thing too, towards like, again, you don't think about it until, I mean, you're fortunate enough and blessed to where like football is literally your job. So it's like, that's what you do and you get paid to do that. And that's, I mean, not a lot of people in the world could say that. So that's pretty cool. But even like in high school, it's like one of those things where I remember there was times where like, oh, I can't, I'd tell my dad would be like, you need to go work out. I'm like, I don't have no one to work out with. I'm just gonna play the game,
Yeah.
But it's like you got to be able to have that motivation. Like that's big, bro.
That's huge. Yeah. That and that's kind of the same thing. Like it's just my dad. Even when I was in the league, my dad will always be down in Arizona with me, and it's still like he would. What are we doing? You gonna go work out? I'm like, well, I ain't got nobody to throw right now. And he was like, man, it's other ways it's more ways that you can get work in. Like always, don't take your foot off the gas now. Like it's always more ways you can get work in. Go work on something else that you can do by yourself. Right? It's not all just about catching the ball and seeing the ball at times. Like go do what you can do when you can by yourself. If and that was always something that he always put in my mind.
Yeah, no, and I feel like I remember being at Oregon State and stuff like that, and I'd see receivers with like, or even you guys did a ton at Fresno State too. There'd be a group of you guys with no quarterback, and you guys would have like the tennis balls, and you're throwing them off the walls, and there's all kind of things you guys are working on. It's like, then you see a quarterback pull up, and you're like, hey, freeze, like, what? Hey,
Yeah,
come throw this
the
rock
ball
a little
now.
bit,
Yeah.
So it's like there's times to do it.
It's actually, it's like you say, it's ways to find it out. It's times for it. And you always, it doesn't matter. I tell people all the time, it don't matter just because you could be a one or, and it's, you're a starting receiver. Don't mean you always have to throw with the starting quarterback. Yes, you want to get your reps in 100%. Like, but there's times you have class, you might be busy. There's things that you can do, and it's not saying that, oh, well, I don't want to go with my guy. No, of course you want to. If you can get with your guy, get with your guy as much as you can, but just go get the reps at the end of the day. I never took days off of just getting the reps when I can and never felt bad about, oh, well, I'm not throwing with this. We never felt like that because it's like it's days that I can't make it to throwing sessions and you're throwing to different guys. But it's like I'm not going to be like mad or feel bad or sad about it. It's like let's just get the reps. When we can, we're all going to be better because then when we get out there on the field, night and day. We know what's up.
And that's a big thing too. You talk about like throwing with your guy, like how important that is to throw with. Like if you're the starting receiver, you should be throwing to starting receivers, starting quarterbacks, starting receivers. But like again, it doesn't happen like that all the time. Like I remember there was times where maybe our senior year at Fresno State, I might be throwing to a redshirt freshman who's never taken a game rep before. But I'm like, you know what? Go ahead, take this rep, and then maybe spot catch 2 or 3 after. Versus like I might have Keesean run every single rep,
Yep.
but maybe I'll just have the young dude run 1 rep, and then like just spot catch the rest, so I don't like mess timing up or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So there's ways to kind of tweak the game a little bit to kind of make sure you're still getting all the work in you need to put in.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, and then I mean, just like on that note, I think it's such like a. I'm trying to think. Where did you train at for pro day when you were getting ready? Were you at State?
No, I was training in LA. I was down south in LA. Private guy, his name's Ryan Flaherty. And then, obviously we had another guy, Josh Brown. He had all the quarterbacks, so we were up there training and it was cool. Different experience, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's right. And I kind of bring that up to say it's funny because I feel like a lot of kids are almost just like, especially nowadays, they almost think like, oh, I have to be at like the fancy gym with like the fancy equipment and have this. Like, bro, you could literally get a football, cones, and like have the best workout of your life literally at the park down the street. Like, you don't need like a fancy field and stuff to put in work. So I think that's kind of just like a misunderstanding right now too that I see from guys that have made it to that level. It's like, hey, they understand like work is work, bro. Like, you don't need all the fancy gym and all the fancy equipment stuff to get stuff done. So like for you, like, what is kind of game you're putting the young receivers on now?
Like I say, work, but it goes back to get it in by yourself, right? And then anywhere you can get it, the work in is gonna be good work if you put in the work. So it doesn't matter what the field looks like. Yeah, obviously you want to be, protect yourself, be safe, and all these things. But it's times like what now, I still go work out at a high school, like. I still work out. You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be a field that I probably shouldn't be running around on at all times, but I got to get the work in. If this is only where I have right now, this is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to be able to get the work in. You know what I mean? To get ready for a season or get ready for whatever's next. So that was I gotta figure it out. I gotta adapt to certain situations, and like you said, it's not about where you are; it's what you do with where you are. So that's what you got to. That's what has to change.
Yeah, no doubt. And kind of talk about it a little bit. I want to talk about your experience like heading up north and going to the CFL. And honestly, I'm a little bit jealous of you that you've won a professional championship and you got to experience a parade. And like, dude, that looks so cool watching. I'm like, that is tough, bro. I was watching on the phone. I'm like, I'm trying to live like vicariously through you. I'm like, that's got to be the coolest experience. Like, kind of talk about what was it like winning a Grey Cup championship?
Man, just the transition going up there, like, it was crazy because like honestly wasn't gonna go up there, but once I talked to the coach, like, great guy. Corey Mace, great dude. Like once we got on the phone, like Marcus, he FaceTimed me. Never had a coach like FaceTime me on some like friends, but also like let's do this and like let's do exactly what we just did. Like that's kind of the approach he took, and he was like, "Man, you're gonna be a great piece to what I'm trying to bring to my first head coaching job, and I want to get a Great Cup champ. What I mean, I want to win a championship. I want to do these things." And he kind of fired me up in a way to where I ain't had since we won a championship together. Like that year, going into the year, I'm like, man, we could do this. You know what I mean? Like I have this motivation to do these as well. So what I mean, starting off with the conversation with him, it was amazing. Thankful for him, obviously, just for the experience, for the opportunity, and then just getting up there, the transition, just obviously transitioning into the game. The speed of the game is a little different. Obviously they have waggles, like it's a lot. It's a lot that you have to figure out as a receiver. You know what I mean, and coming in the league right away. So that was, that was a transition of my period. But then once season started rolling, I got a hang of everything. It was crazy, man. The parade, like you say, is one of one. Like in my football career, like that's something I'll never forget. You know what I mean? Like I had to reflect on myself, sit down with even after winning the championship. Like, man, all the things, the road that I've been down with football for how many years I didn't play. Like this is something I'll look at later on in life and be like, okay, well, this is a big, big accomplishment, and this is only the fifth Grey Cup in team's history, and the league's been going on for 112 years or something like that. Like, and this is the fifth one in this team's organization, and I'm a part of it. So like, I was able to bring something back. The team hasn't won since 1990, or yeah, it's something like that. They haven't won in a very long time. Well, 2000, no, 2013. They haven't won since 2013, but before that was like 1990. It's been crazy. So like the drought's been long. So to be able to bring something back to the province, to the city of Saskatchewan, it was night and day. Like you said, the parade was crazy. It's just everything going on, the festivities, all the signings, the parties, whatever, everything that goes along with the parade was fun. It was definitely a dream come true. Just being able to say I'm a champion, a professional champion at something for that's been going on for so long, and I'll never take it for granted. I'll never take it for granted.
Yeah, no doubt. And you talk about kind of our senior year too when we won that championship. And you actually, we didn't really, we talked about it a little bit, but I was really thankful that you came back for your senior year because you
Mhm.
could have left to the league your junior year. So I was like, man, if Keesean leaves, like this team's going to be completely different. And I think the CFL, Saskatchewan, they kind of felt that same thing too, because I'm sure you had other opportunities to go different places. Maybe the league was kind of reaching out to you, but kind of talk about how excited you are to re-sign at Saskatchewan, but also like maybe what that process looked like. I don't know how much you could share, but I'm sure other opportunities were presenting themselves as well.
Yeah, so obviously this year I had a lot of success just throughout the year, personal success. I had a lot of personal success, and we had a team success. So when those two things go hand in hand, and you're a part of that, and you're a big key piece to, what I mean, that success. Obviously, other teams are going to say, well, obviously, if he did this here and he helped his team do these things, lead the league in first downs, like little things like this that you can, I was grateful to win All Pro up there. So all those things, like obviously, is going to come with. I never been through that either. So this is the first time in professional football that I've been through, that side of being that caliber of a player in the league. And being looked at as that type of player. So you're gonna obviously have guys, other teams reaching out to your agents and things like that. So uh, it was crazy. So like that process was crazy, but I just knew I knew where I wanted to be at the end of the day. Like I told you, my coach, he's night and day, one of the best coaches I done had. Just being able to be personable with and talk to, how he's family oriented. He cares about people's family if things go, what's going on. So it made the transition going up there easy, and it also made the process of my free agency process pretty easy, just knowing where I wanted to be at the end of the day. And obviously they presented to what they presented it and presented me with, and it made sense for me and my family, and it was a no brainer. I wanted to be there, wanted to go back. We'll have a ring ceremony when we go back, also in May. I have a ring ceremony. I'm looking forward to that, but also looking forward to the season, getting that past us. Like obviously thankful for it, but now let's try to do it again.
Yeah, no, and obviously that quarterback receiver kind of relationship is always special. I mean, like me and you will always be friends for the rest of our lives just because we were able to experience that in college. But kind of talk about how cool it is to be with a guy who's been in the league for so long as your quarterback right now with Saskatchewan.
Yeah, like just getting up there and learning from a guy like Trevor Harris. He's been in the league for he might be going in the year 16 maybe right now, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been around the league for a long, long time. Very known player. What I mean, knows the game like no other. Like you say, looking from that was always my thing. I try and look at it from a quarterback lens. So once I got up there and had to learn the game, the CFL game, and there's a lot of pieces that go into it. So I kind of took him. He kind of took me under his wing at the same time as me asking him all these questions to be on the same page and kind of get to where we've been before. I feel like we go out there right now. We probably still know some things to get the ball rolling a little bit. Still know how to make some things shake. But I'm grateful to have him. Great dude, very person to learn from, and he'll definitely be, like you say, one of my friends forever, just for what we've done and how we've been through things together, just to the capacity of football.
Yeah, no, and I mean just like the pedigree and athlete. Obviously, you're in the midst of it right now, so it's kind of hard for you to kind of fully understand the scope of it. But like I've been done playing for a while, and like I know like what you've accomplished. Like you're gonna be so thankful for it once you finish, and you have so much knowledge to kind of pass down to the next generation. And you're kind of doing it a little bit in the off season. I see you training some kids here and there, but like for you, I mean, like what responsibility do you feel like now to like pass knowledge down to younger athletes chasing essentially what you're doing on a day-to-day basis?
I have a big passion for that. That's obviously, we've had conversations about, I mean, what comes after football, all those things, and let's just see. I mean, we kind of just let time will tell. But that's something that's always been in my plans, no matter if it was football or just kind of life, just to be able to help. Just because the things that I've been through in life or seen, or I've had friends that's been through, that I've been around, family, whatever it may have been. I always feel like I could give back knowledge in multiple ways, not just one way. Not just in the sports world, but just in the life world. I mean, life perspective and things like that. So uh that's something that's going to be big. And like you said, I kind of, at the older you get, you start to reflect on those things a little earlier. Like, yeah, I'm not done playing, so I probably hasn't fully reflected on everything that I've accomplished with the game, because I don't think I'm satisfied yet. Like, let's say that's why I'm not done playing. If I was satisfied, I'd be done playing, but I'm not satisfied yet. I know I still have some things that I want to get done, you know uh just for personal goals that you always made. Like, I always wanted to leave my name somewhere. Like, it doesn't, what I mean? When I left college, I wanted to leave as something. I wanted to leave as something. I got to the NFL, didn't get to accomplish that goal exactly what I wanted to accomplish there. I got there, played, did everything. Thankful for the opportunities, but didn't get to do exactly what I wanted to do. At to a certain extent. So now it's like, now I'm here and I'm diving in with a full head of steam. I got plans before I'm done to leave some type of stain to know that I was there at some point. So not satisfied yet, but hopefully we'll get there one day.
No doubt. And kind of talk to that a little bit. We'll kind of rewind a little bit, but just like on your whole recruiting process, because if you're looking at like how many offers you had out of high school, statistically you shouldn't be a professional athlete for this many years. Like you've beaten all the odds. Like you're accomplished so much. So kind of talk about like what was your recruiting process like in high school?
Well, the recruiting process in high school wasn't really much for me, if I'm being honest, because, like I said, I was playing quarterback when I first got into high school, but I wasn't very big. I was, believe it or not, I was 5'3" freshman year of high school. So obviously on the shorter side of things. So then we end up changing positions my sophomore year. That was the first time I played receiver. Like, the first time I played receiver was just an athlete just going out there playing, but actually played well. And that's when I kind of first like took the leap of, all right, this is the new position that I'm gonna be playing, and then figuring out how to play that position and how to where does my strengths in this position, and how do I get on the same page as the quarterback, all those things. So that was that. Then I played receiver from my sophomore, junior, senior year, but also hit a growth spurt my junior year going into my senior year, and that's kind of when the recruiting process started to come about. But stats wasn't crazy junior year. So that was just they just seen me at a couple camps junior year, summer, going into senior year. So it started to heat up. I was making plays. They're like, "Who's this guy? What school does he go to?" And then like obviously they look like, "Oh, well, this guy's 5'7" on the roster. This guy's 6'1". Like where did this come from? So it was all in the air. Like, who's this guy that's new on our radar now? So obviously I go into senior year playing at a high level. And then that's kind of where I first got my first offer from Sac State. But in the midst of that, my brother sparked my recruiting process up. Let me not forget that part. My brother sparked my recruiting process up because my brother was actually at the University of Arizona at the time playing, and he had got hurt. And I kind of told my brother before that, like, I'm gonna go get a scholarship for you. Like, what I mean? I'm gonna keep you in the game. You can live it through me right now while you can't play. You know. So he was making my highlight tape throughout the year. Like each game, my brother was literally editing, never done it before, was editing highlight tapes, sending them out to colleges, doing all that. So that's how it first started. That's how it first like sparked up in the first place. And that's when I got my first offer from Sac State. Got that offer from Sac State, and then it kind of obviously though that division and all the schools that plays them, they started to get in contact and reach out, but still none of them took the offer. No, none of them took the offer. So then Fresno State came about. I got offered by Fresno State. San Jose State came out at that point, and it was like, okay, either stay home. It was either stay home or go start my own, go to Fresno State and, be away from home. Those were like my two options. And I seen what Devontae did at Fresno State. Him, Derek Carr, obviously we went to the same high school and stuff like that. So I seen him and Derek Carr, what he did there. I knew they were leaving. So I was like, it only makes sense. Fresno was ranked like 10 in the nation at the time. Like, it only makes sense. Like, let's go try and repeat the same cycle, And then I went there, I took my visit and enjoyed it and had a blast.
Yeah,
Met some good
I
guys
always
throughout
tell
that.
people too, like I tell young parents and athletes, I feel like the hardest offer to get is your first one. And then after that, honestly, like you said, I'm glad you said it that way because then everyone else in the division, it's almost like a copycat. Like, well,
Mm-hmm.
if he's good enough for Sac State, he's good enough for us. And then everyone else just starts offering.
They
But
start talking to you,
when you got
offering.
that first one, that Sac State, did you like go to the camp and you did well? Or how did that first offer happen for you? Like, how'd you finally break through to the first one?
Just like I told my brother was just sending he was literally doing all the research he can, emailing every school. It didn't matter from Bama to whatever. You know what I mean? He was just
Yeah.
emailing every school, bro. My brother was putting in the work, like finding out all the receiver coaches' emails, doing these things, and um, they were the first team. Like they seen my highlights because he was just sending them game after game. Like it didn't matter, game after game. Like I'm like, let's say you do this game. He's editing it up, doing it, sending it out. Okay, next week again, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep it refreshed on their mind. Like they're gonna have to see you do this week after week after week. So something's gonna fall through at some point, Like that was kind of the motto. Like something's gonna fall through at some point. So just like basically when I first got the first call back, like when I got the first call back, like, oh, I've been seeing your highlight tape. Boom. What's your number? When I got the first call, I was like, uh-oh, this is different. This is, what I mean? Obviously it's a
Yeah.
great feeling when you first talk to your first college on the phone I'll never forget that conversation. I was then the first time he ever came to my high school. He came to my high school. I get pulled out of class to go talk to a college coach. That's insane. Like it was like that feeling was nuts. And then you get offered on that spot. Like I'll never forget that. You get offered in your coach's office. You walk out feeling like a new man. You feeling like you're a man at some point. Like now it went from a kid to a man because it's like, all right, well I got my first offer. I can tell my family that I can go to college for free. Like I can take care of, that side of, mom, you don't have to worry about that. Dad, you don't have to worry about this. At least one. At least we got one. So
Yeah.
I almost went there too. It was crazy. Like that was
Yeah.
because they were my first. I put them very very high on the list. Just because like it was my first. They were the first people to believe in me. So.
Yeah, no, my first offer was to Tulsa, actually, random school, went out
Hmm.
to a camp, balled out. But again, if anyone gets to experience, I think the hard work and everything you put in for a recruiting process and to get recruited is worth it just because that experience, like what you just explained, like I'll never forget that process either.
Hmm.
Like it's such a cool feeling, like just like validation, like damn, I've been putting in all this work and now it's like you get a coach to call you and all of a sudden you like sit up a little straight, you're like, oh yeah, like it's happening,
It's
bro.
happening. No, it's crazy. It's crazy how much it changes. Like it's crazy how much it changes you. It's that you think like you go from you feel like you go from a boy to a man. You know what I mean? But not
Yeah, no doubt.
necessarily in everything. But just the way you might have been slouched over the first time. Now if you get off that phone, you like you say, you sitting up a little taller now. You walking around a little
Yeah.
stronger. You doing things, but now at that point, it's like once you get that first feeling, it was like, well, I want to feel this some more though. You know what I mean? I want to feel it some more. So like that made me even more work out even more, or work. You know what I mean? This next game, I got to go out here and do this because I want to feel this again from another person. You know what I mean? I want to feel
Yeah.
wanted again. Like all those things. Though that validation is it's no feeling like that from what I mean.
Yeah.
It's no feeling.
No doubt. And I think it's definitely there is part of the side that we talked about, like the kind of the copycat, like, hey, once you get your first offer, everyone else in the division. But I also think just kind of like part of it that we're talking about too is I think the athlete gets a kick in the butt of like motivation too, to where it's like they start working hard and they start like, hey, I
Yeah,
actually deserve this. So there is that side of it too. Like now you're under a microscope even more. So I think now the kids are even extra motivated to working out. And I feel like if you have teammates on your team that are getting that recognition that maybe your son or your teammate or you're not getting it yet, like use that as motivation to like I think I got a lot of my scholarship offers because I would go to camps and find the best quarterback there that I knew was a 4-star, that I knew had a bunch of offers, and I'm gonna go right behind
I'm gonna
them. So it's
throw
like
right
just for me.
behind them, so they gotta see exactly. There's ways around it. Like there's ways of making yourself be seen. Like I'm gonna go right behind him, so they after they watch his rep, I'm right next up, and then it's like
Hmm.
let's compare us next to each other. If he's this good and
Yeah,
he has this offer, why can't I? And it's not in a malicious way. It's just more of like finding a way to get yourself seen. You know what I mean? You're
yeah.
not doing anything in a malicious way if you're challenging somebody. Because
And I
that's
think
all the
that's
football world
honestly, I
is.
think that's the best measuring stick too. I think just for
Hmm.
athletes, because it's like if you think you're this good, they know he's this good. Go line it up, bro. Like
So
see if you're actually that good.
exactly. So basically, like another funny story. Let's say I went to our quarterback. He was in the Elite 11 camp, right? And they told him
Hmm.
like bring receivers. Like they told them to bring like their best receivers from their school. So me and one of our other guys had went, but then we had guys that's like let's say 5 stars, some 5 star guys, and you know what I mean. Even let's say some 4 star guys, 3 star guys, but it's some guys that got some offers to schools, and I'm like you say the same thing. Okay, y'all want to go run this? Let's run this curl route. Let's see. I want to see what let's. I want him to go, and then I want y'all to watch me too. Like let's see it. Or I'm not gonna drop any passes today. I bet you I'll be the one out here that doesn't drop any passes today. Like just little things like that. When I was at that camp, same thing. Like I'm not gonna let no one outdo what I want to do. You know?
Yeah, no, and I think that's so big too. And I think from like our perspective, like we're two guys who've kind of been there, done that, kind of seen it all. Like I've been to camps with a lot of 4-star, 5 stars, and just me making up numbers. If there's 104 5 stars,
Hmm.
I would guess like from my evaluation, there's probably 10 or 15 of that 100 that I'm like, he's like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's a dude. But the other like 75, 85 guys, I'm like, I don't really see it, bro.
Yeah.
To where it's like I think it's like that's almost, and it's not like a knock on those guys. It's just I think you have to have a certain level of confidence in your own ability,
Mhm.
because there are certainly some dudes. Like I remember when I was with the Raiders, I got invited to rookie mini camp, and I was only there for a couple weeks. But like I saw Keenan Farrell walk in, the
Mhm.
defense lineman. I'm like, damn, like
That's a
I know
big
why.
dude.
Yeah,
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 that's a
I,
big
I know
dude.
why you were first. I know
Yeah,
why I wasn't a first round draft pick
yeah.
now.
No, and that's what you say. Like it's obviously me being around, like seeing some people that's elite athletes, and when they're okay, this guy's getting paid $100 million. You see why? Like you're
Yeah,
like, okay, yeah, I can see why you're $100 million receiver.
yeah,
Let's say this, but like you say, sometimes it's like, yeah, sometimes you'll run into something that you don't really understand at the same time,
mm,
but
yeah,
you see the 1% of the you see the 1% of the 1%. Like sometimes you'll
yeah.
run into those guys and you're like, all right, like
Yeah,
I
you said
see.
God spent a little bit more time on you when you.
Yeah, he took his time, man.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
some people just blessed with crazy genetics, like just that they don't. I don't know. Some people don't have to work as hard as certain people just to look a
And I
certain way
think
to do
that's
certain things.
important
It's
too, to
crazy.
kind of know like your built too. Because
Hmm.
I don't remember who I was having the conversation with. I remember a lot of teammates, and I'm sure you've experienced it too, to where it's like there's some guys that are the strongest freakish dudes, and they don't even lift, bro. Like they don't go hard at all. Like, oh yeah, I'm done, bro. I'm like, you're
Like
not even sweating.
yeah, like
Like,
that's some natural given strength. Like that's the thing.
yeah,
And I say, I mean, some people that's weight room strong, natural strength, and it's just genetics is gonna play a part. And I tell like right now, sometimes I tell the kids this, like it's some things that you gonna have to push harder because your genetics ain't gonna be genetically blessed. Like let's just be.
yeah,
Sometimes you gotta tell them that. Like
yeah,
so I need you to perfect your craft 100% more than this person because he is genetically blessed. He's gonna be 6'3".
yeah,
We know this already. He's gonna be this. You know what I mean? Like you can look at it. You're gonna be 5'10". He gonna be 6'3", 6'4". You know what I mean? So your craft got to be a little more. You got to have a little more to it. He's
yeah.
he
So,
naturally he naturally gonna run a 4.44. You got to work to go get your 4.4. Like it's just those things are it's different for everybody, and it's like how do you get there? You gotta want it.
yeah.
You gotta want it, like yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta want it.
Talk about that though, because I talk to people all the time. Anyone who's ever asked me like who's the best receiver, and I'm not just saying this because you're on, I literally say this, like you're the best receiver I've ever played with. But I'll tell them straight up, like Keyshawn's not the fastest receiver I've ever played with. He's not the tallest receiver I've ever played with, but you're smooth and you get in out of breaks and you understand coverage. Like there's a lot more to the game to that tour. Like even for me personally, like I know I'll never run a 4.2 in my life,
Yeah.
even if I dedicated my whole life. Like, I'm just not that guy, bro. Like, I know that. So for you, it's like talk to receivers. Like, what's more important? Like, working on your strengths or trying to, like, just be good at everything?
Me personally, I say like I'm trying to be good at. I try and be good at. Like okay, if I know I can catch the ball, right? That is my 100% strength. Like throw me the ball, get it somewhere. My ball skill is gonna be better than yours. Like that is my. I know that. That's my biggest strength, right? But let's say for all the other things, yeah, I'm not gonna go out there and run a 4.3. I'm just not. So now, if I know that I'm not gonna do that, how do I how do I get open? Now let's learn how to run a route. Let's get in and out of breaks fast. You know what I mean? Because I could get a guy that's 4.3 to get running with me. He gonna have to run with me. But now is he gonna be able to stop as fast as me? Like that's what I take into that. Like, okay, cool. He could be 4.3, but can he stop as fast as me? Can he get back to the ball? Is his ball skills there? It's a lot more that goes into it. Does he know? I know when I'm gonna get the ball right now. He don't know what the play is, but I could look and see that he's not disguising this the right way, and I know what's coming. So let me put that in, make that into my, what I mean, put that into my advantage as well. Knowing what he wants to take away, knowing his, what I mean, what he wants me to fall into. What bait is he giving me? What is he not? So all those things come into play as being a receiver. It's not just how fast you are, how big you are. Like you could be the biggest, you could be the fastest, but if you don't, first of all, if you can't catch the ball, you ain't gonna play receiver. So that's number one. I had that
No
strength
doubt.
already. That was the strength that God gifted me with. Like I had that ability. But now everything else comes into play. Like I said, learning the breaks, doing all these things to make you just as good as someone that is. Let's say if someone runs a 4.2, but you could get to that spot fast, just as fast as him in 10 yards, but you stop faster. You get out faster. You know what I mean? So it's like it's what you want. You want to just be fast and can't do certain things, or do you want to be an all around player? You know? So,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah,
said,
no doubt.
yeah.
And then I feel like not on like a not so serious note. Did you ever throw a touchdown in college?
No, I did not. I didn't. You know, they always
That was a waste. I got to talk to Teffer about that because I mean, you will warm up in front of him sometimes too. I think that was a waste on our part. We should have definitely taken advantage of that.
on purpose. Hey, this crazy part is I still do that to this day. Like I still will warm up with the quarterback sometimes and throw the ball to let our coaches know I can throw. Like I can throw.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me a
If you
chance.
need one, if you want to get deep in that bag, I
Yes.
got you. Maybe that'll happen this upcoming year. We'll see what happens. But no, the last question I want to ask, bro. I always kind of like to end on this and just kind of wrap things up. But just like for whatever reason, if I forgot to hit record and this whole podcast got erased, like what are like 2 to 3 truths that are required for athletes that want to be successful? Like what are 2 to 3 things that are non-negotiables for you for a successful athlete?
2 or 3 truths that made me a successful athlete. Okay, time management. That's like you gotta have the time management. Like for me, that was like obviously like let's say just the time management of knowing when to play video games, knowing when to hang out with friends, knowing when to go work out, like all those things, knowing when to hang, like just do whatever you want to do. The time management factor is probably number one, especially in the professional world. Like when you're not mandatory to be somewhere at certain times before you go back to camp, or you know what I mean. Like coaches are not warming you, like they're not doing all these things for you like you have been your whole life. So I would say with that part, like the time management factor is probably the biggest, you know what I mean, thing that I learned just throughout of college, from college and up. Like just having that time management. Without that, that would have been a big one. Let's see. What else? And just being, bro, to be honest, this is dumb, but like just being a good person. Like, you know what I mean? Being able to be around all different type of people. You never know what someone's gonna be able to teach you. And it doesn't matter if they're the coolest guy, you know what I mean, on the team, coolest guy in the classroom, coolest guy, just everyone likes the person. No, you could be around everyone because you could learn something different from every single person. And someone else could teach you something that you might not think that you needed to know, but that's something that you needed, you know what I mean? That's something that you needed to know. And you'll as life goes on, you will learn that. You know what I mean? Like I say, yeah, those are my main 2 things, man. Like being around good people and the time management factor. Like without those 2 things, it's hard to go far without, you know what I mean, having a good friend, having good friendships and good people that's gonna tell you the truth. And without the time management, knowing when you guys can hang out, do whatever you guys want to do, and knowing when to go to work and when to do your homework, when to, you know what I mean, all those things that come into play.
No, that's perfect, bro. And I honestly couldn't think of a better way to end it too. And the one little thing I'll throw in there is that Keyshawn's one of the hardest working guys I've ever been around, but Keyshawn knows how to have fun too. But his time management, I'm glad he said that because he is really good at being on time and showing up to stuff. But if you know if you're not built for that, I won't call anybody out. But as a DB at Fresno State who would hang out and sometimes he'd be late to stuff. I said, hey, Keyshawn's on top of his stuff. He knows how to have fun, but also be on time
You
to
got,
stuff. So make sure like that's really important, right? To be able to kind of flip
yeah.
that switch on and off. But Key, definitely appreciate it, bro. I mean, from like Fresno State, NFL, Grey Cup champion. I mean, this is what, I mean, the real journey looks like. So, I mean, I appreciate you taking some time today, brother.
All right, yeah, appreciate you, brother, having me for sure.
Yep, no doubt. Well, until next time, guys, if you guys learned something today, go feel free to share it. This is Athlete Country Club Podcast. See ya.